Hey everybody, David here, and today, I was thinking about it, and I realized Spider-Man Far From Home is already 1 year old, and it made me realize something that made me kind of sad, is that we have already been a year without a Marvel movie. We were supposed to get Black Widow back in May, and because of everything that went down, 2020 has been a disaster, and we got no Marvel movie. So, unfortunately, because we're not getting no Marvel movie anytime soon, apparently Black Widow is pushed back to November, Eternals has been pushed back to whatever, everything's been pushed back. Even the Marvel TV series that were supposed to be on Disney Plus are probably going to get pushed back because Falcon and Winter Soldier is only getting back to filming the rest of their series this July. So it's not going to be ready by August, I'm guessing, like it was originally supposed to be. So for that, I'm going to do a list of the most anticipated MCU movies from least anticipated to most anticipated, and tell you what my list is, and you guys can comment below and tell me what your list is too. I am only doing the films that have been confirmed so far, so I'm not going to do Blade, because Blade, even though we know Mahershala Ali is going to be playing Blade, we don't know if he's actually getting his solo movie anytime soon, or any other rumored movies like Ant-Man 3, right? There's no confirmation yet about that happening. These are only the confirmed films so far. They all have dates already set. So let's get right through this. As far as I know, there are at least 8 Marvel movies that are already scheduled to be coming out. Let's start with my least anticipated. I'm going to say The Eternals. Yes, I'm looking forward to this movie, but right now, The Eternals is the one that I know the least about, and I have no idea what this movie is going to do. I think the cast looks great, like Angelina Jolie in a Marvel movie. Are you kidding me? Kit Harington and the actor who plays Robb Stark, whose name I'm forgetting right now, like they're gonna reunite in this movie. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I'm looking forward to it. I just don't know anything about the Eternals, so I'm hoping this movie teaches me the basics on who they are. Moving on to number 7, I have Black Widow. Black Widow, obviously we've seen the trailer for this, and I'll admit it wasn't on the top of my list before this, but I'll say it's still hasn't risen on the top of my list, but the trailer has gotten me a lot more excited than I was previously, because I was like, what are they going to do with a Black Widow movie that we don't already know? We already know she's going to die eventually, because this takes place before Infinity War and Endgame, but at the same time, they're denying it, but I still think it's going to happen. I think this is going to be a passing of the torch movie, where they're going to allow the character played by Florence Pugh to take over as the new Black Widow. I'm also looking forward to what Rachel Weisz and David Harbour are going to be doing in this movie. They look, I don't know, they're not showing too much about Rachel Weisz, but David Harbour looks like he's having a lot of fun. And I don't know Taskmaster, but I can't wait to check him out in this, or her, out in this new movie, as rumors are circulating about that. Next on my list, Captain Marvel 2. That's right, Captain Marvel 2 would be higher if I knew what was going to happen. Some people are speculating they could be setting up the Skrulls. Maybe. What is interesting about this is that we have a new director in charge, which I forgot who it was right now, but I remember, or maybe they didn't pick a director yet, but the original 2 directors, which was a woman and man director, they dropped out in order for them to hire a new director. So whatever direction they play with, I'm hoping that this will be Captain Marvel's Winter Soldier in some ways. And when I say that, I mean, with the response to Captain America, the First Avenger, not everybody was all up in arms. Now people love that movie, looking back at it, and seeing what it gave us for the rest of that trilogy. But it was Winter Soldier that really made Captain America, people open their eyes more to that character. And I hope Captain Marvel 2 does the same thing, because I think she had a good sequel. I think it could have been a lot better, and I think the sequel for Captain Marvel will give us that. Next up, at number 5, I have Black Panther 2. Ryan Coogler is coming back to direct, so that really makes me excited because I think he's a fantastic director. I can't wait to see Chadwick Boseman again as T'Challa, as well as his supporting cast. I'm looking forward to seeing what other stories are there with the Black Panther character that we haven't seen again, because Black Panther's origin, I was already kind of familiar with it because there was an Avengers animated film that showed Black Panther's origin, so we kind of see Wakanda in that. And it was really cool seeing the live action film, obviously his own solo film. So I'm hoping to see what other stories they can give us, and I trust in Ryan Coogler. I think he's going to knock it out of the park again. And what other villains does Black Panther have is also I'm curious about. Moving on to number 4, I have ShangChi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. You might be wondering, why is this one so high when I probably don't know much about it either. We do know a little bit about this movie. We know that this movie is going to feature the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, not Trevor Slattery from Iron Man 3. This is going to give us what we were teased in that Iron Man short. It was on the Thor Ragnarok DVD, I think, where they teased that the real Mandarin was out there. And he came to the jail cell where Trevor Slattery was being kept, and he threatened him and maybe even killed him. I think it would be smart to bring Trevor Slattery back to remind the audience, hey, this is the guy that caused a lot of controversy for Iron Man 3. This is the movie that's going to set things right. So we'll see. That's why it's at number 4 on my list. I'm very excited to see what the real Mandarin, what the MCU's real Mandarin is going to be like. No, pulling the curtain over our heads and say, he's another actor. Oh, I can't even imagine what the backlash would be like on that. Moving on to number 3, I have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Yes, Doctor Strange. I'll admit the first Doctor Strange was somewhat similar to Captain Marvel for me. It was a good movie, but I think the sequel is going to be even better, especially that they're bringing Scarlet Witch in there. I think Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch has really been becoming one of my favorite characters. Definitely. I really loved her in Civil War, and I thought she was great in Infinity War. And I'm looking forward to the WandaVision series. And knowing that she's going to be teaming up with Doctor Strange is really cool. Plus the fact that Sam Raimi, the director of the original Spider-Man trilogy, is returning to direct this. Sign me up. I'm all set for this. Moving on to my second most anticipated movie is Spider-Man 3. That's right, the sequel to the Tom Holland Spider-Man franchise. Yes, I am looking forward to seeing how that story is going to resolve. Obviously, we got a little tease at the end of Far From Home, which is the 1 anniversary. I want to point that out again. And that he is a fugitive now. The world knows that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. Are they going to pull... There was something in the Civil War comics, if I remember, where Doctor Strange wipes everybody's memory of the whole situation. I hope they don't cop out and do that. I hope they play with this, because this can lead into new territories for Spider-Man, stories that they weren't able to tell before. So I really hope they don't pull back on this. I hope they keep Spider-Man's identity out there and about, and maybe even pull in a couple of villains, maybe 6 of them, and have them go hunt down Spider-Man. That would be pretty cool. I mean, there's some villains that are still alive out there, and there's some people like myself that believe that Mysterio could still be out there, that he faked his own death. We'll see. Finally, my number one most anticipated. If you haven't guessed it already, I don't know. Thor, Love and Thunder. Yes, Taika Waititi is returning to direct this film. Chris Hemsworth is returning. I think Vin Diesel kind of spilled the beans that maybe the Guardians will be showing up in this one as well. And man, after Infinity War and in Endgame, give me more of Thor with the Guardians. I can have 2 more movies of those. One in Thor, Love and Thunder, and another one in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which I guess I should have added that one on this list too. I just thought about that now, but we don't know when it's coming out, so I didn't bother. But yes, Thor, Love and Thunder, I'm looking forward to, especially now knowing that Christian Bale is going to be playing the villain. We don't know what villain he's playing. I'm just excited Christian Bale is in this. I hope he does not drop out after this quarantine stuff, because if this COVID-19 screws us over with Christian Bale being in a Marvel movie, I'm going to be so pissed off. I want to see what Christian Bale in a Taika Waititi Marvel movie is going to be like, because I can't even wrap my head around that, because Christian Bale is always so, he's in grounded films, realistic and stuff. Even the Dark Knight trilogy was a pretty grounded film trilogy, And so, wait, he's joining Thor, Love and Thunder? Really? In a Taika Waititi Thor film? This is amazing, and I have to see I have to see that. I have to see it. And to see Natalie Portman coming back, I think this is going to be the Jane Foster we should have had from the beginning. Because I'll admit the Thor-Jane romance was one of my least... And Thor is one of my favorite movies, I love the original Thor. I'm one of the few people on Earth, I guess, that love Thor the Dark World. And Thor Ragnarok is easily the best Thor film. It's a character and franchise that I really love. So... I know this will be probably, if not the best Thor movie, it will be definitely easily the second best, because I have a lot of faith in Taika Waititi knocking this one out of the park. So, wow. Okay, guys, that was my list. That's the most anticipated, or least anticipated to most anticipated. What do you think? Comment below and leave down your lists. I'll definitely check them out. I enjoy seeing what other people are saying. And with that being said, until next time, take care.